My question to you this evening still remains. What are some of the ideas that you get up to? Listen, I'm here with my pen, with my paper. The name of this show is African Diaries. And so we take a moment to gauge, to suss, to experience ideas. And I want to do that because Shayla might be bait up next week, Tuesday. Who knows? Who knows? Actual fact, what I do want to run with you is a quiz, right? I want to gauge how much you know. Okay. And these are not questions that are necessarily the most factual based conversation because preference is a real thing. And so it's going to be a true or false. I do have a TikTok audience here, and the idea is that they will engage me as well. You perhaps are watching and saying, Shayla, how do I engage you? Head over to YouTube. We are currently streaming live. Send through your answers there and let's see how much you get out of 10. Okay, there are things you're going to try and argue me about, but listen, I'm here for it. DM me, find me on WhatsApp, +27 6340 69126. Question number 1, true or false? The more expensive the date is, the more memorable it is. Again, question number 1, the more expensive a date is, the more memorable it is. I will wait for your answers. In actual fact, I'll give you 15 minutes and we will count you 15 seconds, not 15 minutes. We don't have that much time. And the idea is I want to see how much you get out of 10 because also this will allow you to gauge your thinking around dates, around date nights. That question one more time, true or false? The more expensive a date is, the more memorable it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you say true, then I've got some questions because it is false. Emotional connection, effort, and creativity matter far more than the price tag. And it is about whether the person had you in mind when they curated the experience. Don't you think? Question number 2, true or false? Planning a date in advance shows more love than being spontaneous. Again, planning a date in advance shows more love than being spontaneous. I see here that Far Sale says that it is false. I'd love to hear from you this evening. You can find us on our YouTube live stream. Head over to YouTube, look for the channel Africa, or rather the page Channel Africa, and then you head over to the live stream and you should be seeing African Diaries, and you can send through your commentary there. Again, that question number 2, planning a date in advance shows more love than being spontaneous. Again, false. And so it is false because you can show love through planning a date, but you planning doesn't mean that you care for the person, right? Being spontaneous means that you've had this person in mind and you'd like to share this moment with this person in mind. The very last question I'm going to ask you real quick. Doing something new together releases feel-good hormones that reignite passion. True or false? I'm going to be quick with this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. True. Novelty triggers dopamine, helping couples feel that in love rush. And I see that Far Sale was with us, and I see that Non Sindiso was also saying true over there. Well done to you folks. It's time for us to get back into that conversation. You were looking for date ideas. You're saying, Shayla, listen, I want to do something new. I want to do something spontaneous. My partner and I are tired of taking a walk in the park and then going to that one restaurant and then eating food and then going home and then getting intimate. We want something different. Well, we are joined today by somebody who understands the necessity for difference. That is Scott Villa, the co-founder of Brunch on Sunday, one of the exciting brands redefining how we experience love, lifestyle, and connection through curated social events. Mr. Scott, finally, how are you?
Hi, Sheila. I'm good. And how are you?
I am fantastic. Let's
Finally.
Indeed, finally. It's been a very interesting day. Listen, On all ends, but we're glad to have you here. Let's talk about reigniting love, right? So many couples today are looking for ways to reconnect beyond the typical dinner. You don't want to sit, you don't want to go for that movie, the casual rom-com thing that we were so accustomed to learning to do. You take her out on a date, you share popcorn, and then you go to the dinners, and it's all fancy schmancy, and everybody's feeling nice and cute. You have a little bit of a drinky drink, and then it's time for being intimate. We want to avoid that. What are some of the new creative ways that one can pursue with their partner?
I think, in essence, the more creative ways of doing something fun with your partner is through a food experience, a food and drink experience, in a sense, just learning what your partner likes, what type of drinks she likes during the day, leading on to the night, which is what we define as a brunch on Sunday concept, where you get to taste different foods, you get to taste different drinks, you find out what your partner likes, in essence, more than anything. It's just an experience that's different, more than just getting to the intimate part of things, but just how to conversate, during those experiences when you're having that moment with your partner. So
Yeah.
that's very crucial and important.
Absolutely. Scott, before we get into Brunch on Sunday, which is a concept that we will unpack, I want to talk about some of the other trends that we are seeing. We're seeing stargazing, picnics, outdoor movie nights, farm to table dining. These all alluding to what it is you were saying, conversing, getting to know your partner more. I know that adrenaline is also part and parcel of this new trend. What are some of the things that people are doing that brings about an excitement and honestly connects them to their partner through that adrenaline rush?
Yeah, that's true. Most basically, you can think about, I'll keep it basic. You can do your normal bowling, which is, an activity that engages you more
Yeah.
than just sitting on a table and just finding out, what your partner likes, what's your favorite color, what's your more of, the engaging activities, like you're saying, adrenaline activities, which could be bowling, which could be quad biking, some of those activities are more physical in a way, that could bring more engagement into how you're trying to know the person or your partner.
Scott, one other element of getting to know your partner is the pockets, right? The money, Scott. The money, it's very important. Is it
Yep.
is it is it a necessity to always go all out? And by that, I mean your pocket is stretching further than you had anticipated just to bring about an experience that is worth the while. And I'm asking this because some people believe that. Some people believe, listen, if you said that we are going to go bowling and then we go and have ice cream, I'm just like, that was a cheap shot at me. That's just not it. And so let's talk about the consideration of the pocket. And I want to ask you this twofold. Firstly, as an individual who helps people experience curated social events that helps them reconnect, but also as a gent, okay, as the one who's asking the girlie out. Let's talk about those pockets.
I think it's important as a male not to be on a budget, especially on the first date. That's very important, not to budget for a date, because if you're trying to impress a lady, you shouldn't be on a budget, especially for the first time. And, in some sense, males typically are the ones that approach females, just to go out, just to do those activities. So the pocket, from a male's perspective, is very important. And do not budget for things. I think that will keep things very smooth.
Yeah.
And, it would make things very, not awkward, in a sense. So I would say the pocket is very important,
Yes,
but don't be on a budget,
that is
especially if you're
fair.
trying to impress.
That
on the
that's
first.
that is exceptionally well answered, and I do believe that that's fair. I do know that there is a school of thought around gentlemen that say that, listen, it's not about the money. We're live on TikTok currently, and Alfie is saying it's not about the money but the experience, and so there are some who believe that, my brother, it need not be that hectic. But because we are pressed for time, we're not going to dive deeper into that. Let's talk about brunch on Sunday. Walk us through the concept.
So Brunch on Sundays was basically started in 2022, a concept that was developed on a daytime experience. I work in the events industry, which is mostly nighttime. So I just thought of a concept where I could gather some of my people that would enjoy, a daytime experience. And Brunch on Sundays is an entity that is focused on providing the perfect daytime experience for ladies. And we cater mostly to ladies, which is 80% ladies, 20% guys. So when the guys walk into a venue and they see beautiful ladies, they get impressed, in a sense.
Okay.
So Brunch on Sundays was very curated around that, centered around that. We do provide a chef's table, which we call also a harvest table, which we do from 12 till 2, where you pay a certain amount of money to get unlimited food and unlimited drinks. And we do pair it up with a live act, which is what we do is we do a live band element with an artist of the customer's choice or our choice, in a sense. We do
Mm.
find out from our customers which artists they would like to see on the next Brunch on Sundays, and then we curate it. We create it together. The event starts from 12 until 10 p.m.
And here I
So
was thinking I must pay up before the next event. Listen, Scott, you have spoken to me nicely. You honestly
yeah,
have. Lastly, Scott, for those who are saying, listen, this sounds exciting. I am around Johannesburg. I'd love to experience this. Where do they find you? And when is the next event?
okay. So our social media handles are we are on Instagram. We are at Brunch on Sundays JHB. That is on Instagram and on TikTok, which is Brunch on Sundays JHB. And the next event will be taking place on the 7th of December, which is going to be our last and final event, which is the most exciting event, which is basically the closing off party that is bigger than the other events.
Yeah.
So 7th December, we will reveal the venue, which we are working on a new venue at the moment, but everything has been confirmed. So on the 7th December, just make sure that people follow us on our socials just to see what we're up to and our latest updates.
It's also enough time for us to try and sneak in a potential summer body. So this is great. This is fantastic, Scott. Thank
Yeah,
you so
definitely.
much for joining us this evening. All the best with that event on the 7th. We cannot wait to see it be a success. And thank you for the date ideas as well.
Definitely. No, definitely consider Brunch on Sundays as your first date. It will definitely be a treat for both.
Oh, absolutely. The voice there of Scott Villa joining us this evening. He was talking to us about, firstly, just date ideas, exploring outside our comfort zones. And then we spoke about brunch on Sunday.